Hello everyone and welcome to the 2022 DiscGolf Terminalen Open presented by Latitude 64. Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, alongside three-time world champion Nate Doss. And Nate, we're here for the sixth stop on the Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour, playing the red course out here at Terminalen, and a place you're pretty familiar with, aren't you?
I have been to Skellefteå, Terry, several times, and it's a beautiful place and a very well put together disc golf course, and actually an entire property of disc golf courses. But the red course is a fun challenge.
So much history that I've learned about, and now we have our feature card, and leading things off, Josef Berg.
Yeah, par 3 here, just 330 feet.
And the OB pond that is up near the basket obviously scares plenty of players. So you'd like to either go way past it or to the right of it. Or in Josef's case, you can be a little bit short, and that works just fine.
Yeah, and here, this is such a classic starting position at the Terminalen here at the course. The red barn just to the left here, the clubhouse for the club at the property.
And Elias Gripler hits a tree, and then it kicks way off to the right side. And a gentleman that I believe is just an absolute staple in Swedish disc golf and comes in as our highest rated player at the tournament. He's going to be out of bounds on the very first hole. Elias is safe over the pond. He's looking to save his par. And Anders from the drop zone. Looking like a bogey for him, and Josef, who had come up short, has a long look at birdie.
Such a calm condition for these players to be playing. Really just beautiful weather, no wind to speak of.
Hjalmar, no problem with the birdie.
What a putt. Over the OB. You know, Anders in this group is really a disc golf veteran. Played with Anders for several years when I played in Europe. Really well-rounded disc golfer.
And opening the tournament with a bogey. Just 2 weeks ago, I was told that he had taken down the Swedish championships that was held out here at this course. Naturally, he's going to be one of the favorites coming into this event. He has the highest rating of anyone on the card, or anyone in the tournament for that matter, at 1,004. And we're going to take the walk over to hole number 2. This one gently bends from left to right, following this narrow corridor.
Yeah, this is really such a classic Swedish hole through all the birch trees here.
Certainly sets up well for a forehand. Well, one just like that. That's going to be right there. Putting range for Josef.
Yeah, you can see the basket just sneaking through the trees there. Just 227, a hole that all of these players would want to be birdieing.
It'll be about pin high. Also pin high. Looking to pick up the birdie. Hopefully erasing the bogey that he opened with. And kicking all the way out to the left side over near hole 3's fairway. And did we just see that? Was that a forehand with the right hand, even though he drives backhand with the left hand?
Yeah, so he's left-handed with his backhand. Forehand throws the right-handed, which is essentially the same angle.
I've never understood left-handed throwers, Nate. Even the ones in Sweden.
Neither have I, Terry. No question about it. And that's a good birdie there for Anders.
It is a comfortable Saturday morning as the tournament is getting started. We're going to see 3 rounds on the red course, 2 rounds on Saturday and 1 on Sunday. And we see plenty of birdies picked up here on 2. Elias with the lone par. Or correction, him and Hjalmar.
Just watching the first 2 holes here makes me want to be back at the Terminalen so badly. I love playing these courses.
And coming in at 342 feet with the water left and in front of the basket. A park job there by Josef.
Incredible control with that turnover. Anders playing to the soft side of the green. I mean, at 342, you can just pretty much go with a strong mid, maybe a soft fairway driver. But I think with this shot here, the mid-range is really the ideal disc for the right-handed player.
And Hjalmar has plenty of room off to the right side of the basket. So I feel like coming up on the left side is not the play. And we'll see the big hyzer as opposed to going with the turnover. Elias goes deep, and he's going to be out of bounds in the water just behind the pin. As beautiful as this hole is, it's also scary.
Very. Wow. So play it short left and cash the putt.
That's one good way to do it.
And he's got to run all the way around to get his disc out of the water.
I love the hustle,
out of the basket, yeah.
And a death putt for Anders. And I guess that's the one advantage. If you go deep in the OB here, you basically get to bring it right back toward the basket. Relatively short putt. Should be an easy tap in, and he's still walk away with the par.
Yeah, here on hole 3, just there's no reason to not be aggressive. Don't come up short. If anything, make that mistake long, but that's a park job from Josef.
And one of my favorite parts I saw is that out here on the course, they actually have retrievers that are just off of the fairway that are always just left there, so that any group that comes through always has access to a retriever, which is pretty cool that they just keep that held right there as we see Michael Bowie in the background here, Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour Director. Now we head over to hole number 4. The first par 4, it's a little bit soft of a par 4, and if you land anywhere near the short basket but then go about 100 feet past it, that's when you're going to be looking at the long pin.
Yeah, and again, a classic par 4 here in Sweden, just carved out through the woods here. Placement, very crucial, as you were talking about, Terry. Just want to try to put it in that perfect zone, and then from there, pretty easy second shot.
It really is, and there's OB on the left side, but this is almost perfect for Hjalmar.
Not sure why he didn't go with the sidearm there.
That's what we're seeing by Elias. I try to give you the zoomed in version, and this is out of position in a very tough spot for Anders, especially when going with a backhand.
Yeah, you can see the basket just through the woods there.
And trying to fight through the woods, almost getting out.
If you are on these fairways, you are in great position. If you're off them, it's not good at all. You can see how thick it is, and that's a nice second shot.
Yeah, and that's, I feel like, the ultimate play here. Too many people maybe get greedy. This is where you want to land off of your tee shot. Then you have a simple approach around and then put in for the somewhat soft par 3. That's the way to play it. I think people just get too aggressive off the tee, and then they find trouble.
Yeah, I mean, with the angle that they've created here, it makes sense to play it for position, not try to get too aggressive, because if you're in these woods, bogey very easy.
Yeah, Hjalmar is short on his eagle bid, and Elias doesn't convert for birdie, so he's looking at a par. He remains at even.
I'm noticing the gloves for Anders. Was it a bit chilly here, Terry?
Well, everybody is relative. It was, I forget the Celsius conversion, but for me it was in the 60-degree neighborhood, and I was perfectly comfortable. But it sounds as if even though this is a comfortable fall day, these guys are prepping for winter. And I go to the catch here on 5, and, well, that's exactly how you throw this hole. Comes in just short of 300 feet. Just a beautiful turnover the entire way for a righty backhand.
Yeah, and one thing I'm noticing, through the first 5 holes is how critical throwing mid-ranges really is on this course so far, just at 293, and that is great control from Anders.
Yeah, you can't really see the pin when you're on the tee, which is why I came to the catch position and almost caught an ace there as Elias just missing the basket. And short for Hjalmar. He's got work to do. Gripler short as well, so he'll have to settle for a par.
Yeah, and it's just on these shorter par 3s. You don't want par putts.
And that's going to sting. This is a lefty shot all day long. It's just a lefty stock hyzer. So Hjalmar getting caught on the left side and then not being able to get up and down and taking a bogey. Meanwhile, Josef, easy tap in. He's going to pick up the birdie. Anders is right there for the birdie as well. And we have the par from Elias. Josef off to a great start. He's got 4 birdies in the first 5 holes.
To put this all in perspective, Anders Sward signed up for the PDGA in 1998. Josef Berg, 2017.
Yeah, I'm not sure Josef was alive yet. And this is known as the Nemesis hole. Very tight, perfectly right up the middle, just 206 feet. It narrows the entire way. The Hall of Famer Thomas Ekstrom says he does not like this hole, and it's known as just that, the Nemesis. Anders and Josef, no problems. Elias goes with the alternative route. And that gets caught up on the left side.
What a decision to try to take that alternative route. I mean, he must just feel a little bit more comfortable, but you can see it over there. It is open, but at this short a distance, I think just trying to attack at 206, just nice and straight. A little overturned there, but still up by the basket.
Yeah, at 206 feet, pretty easy to still have a look. So even though this hit a tree, Elias still has a look for birdie. And that is short.
So for those of you that don't know, the DiscGolf Terminalen here in Skellefteå hosted 2 majors. And we Americans traveled all the way over there and competed in those majors. And that's a beautiful birdie putt. But we compete on what they call the black course, which is the most challenging course here on the property. And we actually warmed up on these holes. And so we were kind of playing a lot of these holes that weren't being used on the black course. So pretty cool to see when we played it in a tournament.
Yeah, I was privileged to be able to play the yellow course and then the red course before coming out and filming in a few holes on the black. And now we're on hole number 7, just 59 meters. This has a hazard just short of the basket. And in talking to Josef, he said he was here a couple weeks ago. He really likes this low skip shot. So he skips up through the hazard, and then we'll have a look from about 10 meters, but it's going to be behind some trees. Anders going with the most conventional.
Oh, wow. Just playing Plinko.
That'll work. I don't know if they have Plinko in Sweden, but that's the game he was playing right next to the basket. And that's wide for Hjalmar, but he'll still have a birdie look.
Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful. That is perfect. Great control just up over that hazard.
Yeah, and anything inside that rock wall is considered a hazard. You get a 1-stroke penalty, and you play it from there.
Yeah, to have an over 10-meter putt on such a short hole, that's a disappointment for sure.
And Josef off the top. So the skip shot not quite paying off as it did for him a few weeks ago. He told me that when he played the skip shot 2 weeks earlier, he birdied it every single round. So that's what his play is here. And Elias in for birdie. And this is where I feel like the course starts to toughen up. We've got hole 7. You see that Josef is 5 under. You feel like you need to pick up at least 4 or maybe 5 of the birdies, maybe 6 or 7 if you're shooting really hot. The course is about to get much tougher as we head over to hole number 8.
Exactly, and even Anders at 4 under, he did bogey the first hole, so he's pretty much played about as good as he can since then to keep up with Josef.
Here we are on 835 meters. It's dead straight, and you just need to fade a little at the end, and that's overturned and probably going to be trouble for Anders.
Yeah, you kind of just want that bright tree right there. That's the one you want to aim at and just twist a nice fading power drive here at 443.
That is heading toward the red basket.
Yeah.
Not the place you want to be.
Yeah, just not enough turn. It was the right release point. Just needs a little more fade on that disc.
In practicing this one, I thought this feels like a bonus birdie. Not too many of our competitors are going to be able to get that close to this basket just because it has a late tunnel and you have to get a skip that brings you forward. And right now, all of our players are just trying to save par.
Yeah, and I really like this hole. I love the challenge of a longer par 3, and that's a nice line for Anders, just right up under the pin. I love shots like this. It's at the edge. 443 on a par 3, that's tough. But nice clean lines.
And that is a great kick for Josef to keep him closer to the basket. Comes the righty forehand. And so smooth with it. I mean, I can't say enough.
Yeah,
how
truly,
good that shot looks.
Truly ambidextrous. I mean, he just feels so comfortable on both sides. It looks natural. If you look for Skellefteå on a map, go to the very far northern part of Sweden. About a 10 hours drive north of Stockholm.
And just for everyone at home, we've actually seen Hjalmar play in junior under 15 and under this year. So that tells you just how young and how solid of a competitor he is. He's performed in juniors 15 and under, juniors 18 and under. He won those events. He won both events he played in advanced. and now he is here playing an Open as well.
He's a bit of a giant. I mean, he's a big kid for playing in juniors. That's impressive stuff.
And we'll head to our last hole of the front 9, Anders with the honors. And this one is a beefy 200 meters. And you really need to beat that set of trees and go at least another 40 or 50 feet to set yourself up for a 250-foot approach from there. And this is way off to the right side. They might be asking the guys on 13 or so to move.
Yeah, just way too much height right out of his hand. Just went up. He was really trying to throw it with a lot of hyzer and get it to flip, as you said, Terry. Getting around that corner and flattening up, trying to gain as much distance down the fairway as he can. 660 or 655.
If this can stay clean, it'll be in great position.
Yeah.
A little short.
How about you do all the meters? I'll do all the feet.
And lots of work to do for Hjalmar. Trying to go up and over. And that is off the mark, but it's still in the fairway, so he has a chance to save par from there.
You can see the basket just right there, sneaking in a picture.
Josef lining up the big hyzer to try and go out and around. That's where there's the most airspace.
Terry, we call those Swedish hyzers.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, he's going to be left and short. Here's Elias. And he's on the left-hand side.
Skellefteå, also the home of major winner Jesper Lundmark, champion at the European Open, and just a great player overall.
And Hjalmar with his third will have a circle's edge putt to save par. Anders with his third. Just a standstill and right next to the basket. Great shot.
Yeah, and you can just tell that veteran prowess of Anders. He even when he's out of position, he seems to just stay calm, try to make the shots, give himself chances to save par.
Josef now a long look for birdie. And as we start to close out on hole number 9, I got to thank Nate Doss here for joining, but also all of the supporters and the sponsors of the Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour, including our title sponsor of this event, Latitude 64. I got a chance to travel around and see the facility, also hang out with Thomas and Emil and so many amazing people over at Latitude. It's been my pleasure and honor to cover my very first round here at DiscGolf Terminalen. We see that after 5 holes, Josef off to a great start. Anders just one behind him at 4 under. And that's everything we got. That's the front 9. DiscGolf Terminalen Open, presented by Latitude 64. We'll see you guys for the back 9.